So Ubisoft's back with another Anno, and this time we're trading smokestacks for togas. Anno 117. Pax Romana wants to capture the magic of Anno 1800 but set in ancient Rome. And honestly, I'm here to tell you if it's actually worth your time. Look, 1800 wasn't just good, it was near perfect for what it was trying to do. The production chains, the Victorian aesthetic, watching your cities grow from little agrarian villages into these massive industrial powerhouses, it all just clicked, you know? It felt deeply satisfying. But it had its gaps. The combat felt kind of thrown in. The diplomacy didn't go very deep, and once you got the hang of its systems, it started to feel a bit repetitive. So that's the challenge here. Can Anno 117 capture that same magic while actually fixing what didn't work? After spending time with the demo and pushing it as far as it'd let me, I think I've got a pretty good feel for how it plays. You're playing as a Roman governor, and your province is basically a disaster zone. You've got to rebuild it, keep everyone happy, make sure there's enough food and supplies, and deal with all the political drama that comes with running a province. And honestly, Anno 117 makes this so easy to jump into. The tutorial systems are way clearer, the UI's more streamlined than 1800, and the core loop is just immediately intuitive. Build homes, provide goods, upgrade your citizens, and expand to new islands. If you played 1800, you'll feel right at home here. At its core, Anno 117 is all about production chains. Your citizens have needs, food, clothes, even luxury stuff, and you meet those needs by building this whole network of connected buildings that produce what they want. The lowest tier citizens, the Liberty, they're easy to keep happy. Feed them porridge, sardines, a hemp tunic, and give them a tavern to hang out in, and they're good. But as soon as you start leveling them up into plebeians, things get a lot more complicated. Now they want bread, which means you need farms, granaries, bakeries. They want lavender soap, so that's lavender fields, pig farms, rendering plants. They want education, so you build a grammaticus. And they want olive oil, which only certain islands can even produce. It's basically the same formula as 1800, but that's exactly why it works. Optimizing production chains, solving bottlenecks, watching your settlements spread across the Mediterranean, it's oddly hypnotic. What's new here is how production buildings actually interact with each other. They're not just about efficiency anymore. Each building has these area of effect bonuses and penalties that influence everything around it. And honestly, it adds a whole new layer to how you plan your cities. Like a spinner that makes hemp tunics, it doesn't just produce tunics, it also gives a small income boost to every house nearby. Drop one in the middle of a dense residential area, and suddenly you're making way more money. But it's not all good news. A soap maker improves public health, which is great, but it also tanks happiness because, well, soap production stinks, literally. Low happiness can spark revolts. Low public health can lead to disease outbreaks. You're constantly balancing these effects. And this completely changes how you approach city planning. You're thinking tactically now, trying to balance bonuses and penalties, squeezing the most out of your layout. On paper, it seems like a small thing, but in practice, it adds this whole new layer of depth to city building that I really wasn't expecting. You're balancing bonuses and penalties, and yeah, it's a little stressful, but in that my brain is melting and I love it kind of way. Anno 117 also adds a full research system with 3 branches: economic, civic, and military. You earn knowledge points from buildings like the Grammaticus or by hiring specialists, then you just queue up texts that unlock automatically as you play. Some are simple, like building watchtowers or boosting workshops. Others get more creative, spinners that generate knowledge, new troops, or upgrades for your navy. It's not groundbreaking, but it actually adds some meaningful progression and lets you specialize your economy and military however you want. And the fact that it runs in the background is a huge quality of life win, so you're not stuck constantly fiddling with tech trees. You can actually focus on building your city instead of opening menus every 5 minutes. The big new thing here is combat. Anno 117 finally adds a proper military system. You've got land troops, real-time battles, base attacks, all of it. You can build barracks, train archers and swordsmen, and actually control them in real time. You can defend your city, attack a neighbor, whatever you want. There's a full military tech tree, weapons upgrades, even regiment level control. It's way deeper than I expected. But here's the thing, and this is important. Every soldier is a citizen. Pump out too many troops and suddenly your bakeries go cold. Your production chains fall apart. You gotta have a big, thriving city to support an army. It makes you actually think about balancing your economy and your military, instead of just spamming units like in a normal RTS. That said, combat is completely optional. You can dial down aggression and focus entirely on city building if that's your thing. But if you do go for combat, it's way more involved than 1800. Winning isn't just about taking out a trade post. Campaigns need real strategy and planning, and pulling off a successful attack feels genuinely satisfying. Diplomacy has taken a huge leap forward too. Previous Anno games were super limited, just trade routes and simple gifts. Now, every governor and NPC has full voice-acted dialogue with meaningful choices. Your actions shape how other leaders treat you. Peace treaties, wars, trade deals, everything has real consequences now. It's not Crusader Kings deep, but for Anno, it finally feels like your choices actually matter. And the fact that every character is properly voiced makes a real difference. You actually want to listen instead of just skipping through dialogue. The map has two very different regions, and that's where the world really comes alive. Latium feels like classic Mediterranean Rome with trade-focused neighbors, plenty of resources to work with. Albion, on the other hand, is based on Celtic Britain. It's swampy, harsh, with way more aggressive governors. The terrain makes building tricky because some structures only work in certain areas, so city planning becomes this whole puzzle. Albion also brings cultural choices into play. You can Romanize the province and assimilate the Celts, or you can embrace their traditions and manage them on their own terms. This ties into the religion system. Temples to Mars or Neptune give you military and naval perks, while worshipping Celtic gods unlocks a completely different set of bonuses. The developers actually picked Albion specifically because it was considered the most alien place in the entire Roman Empire. The Romans had these wild superstitions about it. They literally thought people there had 8 limbs. It was basically their version of Mordor. And honestly, the contrast between the two regions keeps things fresh. Managing both at the same time makes the mid to late game so much more interesting. You're literally running an empire, juggling different cultures, resources, and challenges across multiple provinces. But Anno 117 isn't perfect, and there are some frustrating omissions. One big miss? The lack of a first-person view. It was one of the best features in 1800, and losing it feels like a real step back. Another frustration is city blueprints. The ability to save and reuse layouts is either gone or hidden so deeply that nobody can find it. And by your 5th city, when you just want to replicate a layout that already works, not having this is really annoying. The campaign itself is fine, but not amazing. You pick between Marcus and Marcia, two governors with different storylines, but neither one feels particularly memorable. You'll spend most of your time in sandbox mode anyway. Continuous mode and multiplayer can easily eat hundreds of hours, while the campaign barely scratches the surface. The story gets the job done, but it's nothing special. Visually, it's not the flashiest game, but it has personality. The wilderness can feel a bit empty at times, but towns and outposts are packed with detail and lighting that really bring them to life. The music hits too, and those retro-style radio ads, they make the world feel genuinely lived in. Now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Are you an Anno 1800 fan? Are you planning to jump into this Roman version?